Hello, hello. Good morning. Oh my goodness, I'm so glad to see you, having coffee with you this morning and just looking at your beautiful smile. Everyone, this is Chelsea, and I wanted to bring her on for a little girl talk. And I wanted you to meet her and to feel her energy and just to be in sacred space with her. I originally met her in Colorado at a training that we did. And this is what, almost 2 years later, a year and a half later, here we are getting ready to go on this writing venture for sacred medicine, mystical practices, for ecstatic living, which you said yes to. Thank you so much for being an author in my book. And I want to know what that feels like to you, to be able to step up into this next version of yourself.
Yeah, it's really exciting. I'm so grateful to you for pulling me in and taking me on this ride with you. It's so cool. So writing has always been something I've been really passionate about, and writing books has been on my bucket list. So it's been a cool opportunity to be able to like get going in this way, and it's opened up so many ideas for me of like how I can pull in other writers who I really love and admire. And then it's so exciting to see who else is going to be part of this book. Like that's something I'm having to work with, being like, okay, how do I not be the weakest link? Like, because it's, which is a great thing to confront, just because this is going to be chock full of so much beautiful sacred medicine. Like, it's incredible to look at our contents and see like, wow,
It's
this is gonna happen.
amazing medicine women and medicine men. And I feel so honored that you guys came together as this collective tribe. And it is powerful. And what you said, I want to witness that, because I think we all go through that of that, oh, am I good enough? Like I work primarily with women, and a few men, but primarily with women. And I see that coming up in every industry, no matter what it is, including motherhood. Like we just, it bubbles up. And I love that you said it's something to look at, because we have to move through it to go to that next highest version of ourselves, which I see you stepping into fiercely. Like I have felt your magic since the first time I met you. Like you're magnificent, and I want the world to know you. So without holding back, let us know you. Like what is coming up in the book? What did you decide is your sacred medicine?
Yeah, so I chose mirror work as my tool, which isn't always something that I necessarily like tell every client to do, but because of the hair styling aspect that I work with, and utilizing it for myself, it's really powerful. And because, like you said before we started, like we're both so eclectic,
Yeah.
I felt like this was a piece that tied so much of what I do together. And I felt like it was really digestible in a book. Like so much of what
Yes.
I do is really body oriented or meditation oriented. And it's super groovy that you guys are having us offer like that resource where people can go, to a link and listen in if it's a listening practice. But I wanted something that people could read and implement immediately. And so for me, mirror work felt like something that works for, that someone can read the steps and then go to the mirror and do it.
I
And so
love
I,
that.
yeah. And it's like what you're talking about, like with women, especially everyone, but especially women, we're dealing with so much of this like shame and fear and imposter syndrome. And so I feel like stepping in front of a mirror and telling yourself you're a fucking badass is
Yes.
powerful. If you do it regularly, it's like, holy shit, it shifts things so quickly. And so my chapter in my story, I'm actually playing with like two different ones. Like I wrote one initially and my word count was low. And so I was like, well, what do I add? And actually woke up a different evening and like wrote a whole new chapter
It
that would still,
downloaded. Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
And now I'm trying to like marry these two and see where there's overlap or something that can tie in. And they're both pretty like, shameful, vulnerable areas to
Mhm.
expose to. But I feel like that's what has to happen for people to see, like, I had a transformation. And I mean, these two stories are totally different. So, like, multiple transformations, it's continual work. And that's something I always try to remind people as well, because I think there's that like seeking the magic silver bullet all the time.
It doesn't
And it's
exist.
no, it doesn't exist. And it's a continual process and continual work. And so that's why I wanted to give a practice that like use this all the time, use
Over
it
and
for the
over. Hmm.
change it as you change, but like don't stop looking in the mirror and telling yourself you're a beautiful, strong badass. Keep doing it and change what you're proud of and change what you forgive yourself for, because it's a great way to continually move through what bubbles up.
All of the
So
things. Yes. And what you said is like the shamanic journey or the spiritual journey. I get people all the time, and I know you do too, that say, oh, I've already done the work on that. And they're just like bewildered that it's coming back up so strong for them when they've done so much work around it. And I think that is just lovely that we keep reminding people as practitioners that this path is spiral. It is not linear. It's not a one and done. But what happens is we go deeper and the awareness becomes more clear and we become empowered by that which happened to us instead of the other way around. And I feel the more that we tell our stories, our sacred medicine, the more we do step in a place of empowerment. And at the same time, in this perfect duality, we're empowering others by being vulnerable just by sharing those words. And I just have to thank all of my authors, you included, because we are sharing intimate pieces of ourselves and our personal transformation. And as you know, the transformation is not pretty all the time. It gets messy and ugly, and it doesn't always feel great. I mean,
yeah,
that's the real spiritual journey. It takes us into our stuff, right?
yeah, yeah.
And I love that you're sharing mirror work. It was a part of my healing transformation when I had my breast implants removed. I really had to go through facing my own vanity that I thought I did the work on because of the scars. It was only the scars. I had to do so much work on that. And finally, just being able to look at myself and going, isn't that interesting? Look how strong I am. Look at how fierce I am. And really pulling that through. But it took a good solid month of me like getting comfortable with having so many now scars on my breast. So thank you for sharing mirror work. It was really, really powerful for me in my healing to be able to look and say, no, that's beautiful. It's
Yeah.
beautiful. And these are my sacred wounds. And now I'm healthy and strong and.
And I think the piece of that that's so beautiful too, that it really acknowledges, is that people sometimes, I hear a lot of like touting affirmations, because I think it can be represented as like spiritual bypassing or toxic positivity. But what it really is, when we really do it, and what you're kind of speaking to, is it's actually acceptance. So like,
Exactly. Yes.
you're not saying like, I don't have scars, or like, I love these scars. You start with like, I fucking hate this doesn't feel like me, God, I feel ugly. Like, we honor what comes up. We don't just like patch over it. We
No.
are feeling all the shit and acknowledging that, like, I don't feel beautiful, so I'm gonna tell myself, and so I'm gonna reframe. And like,
Right.
it's a process. It's not just like, I am beautiful, I am beautiful. It's like, it feels like shit. And that's why when we are doing mirror work, it can be so emotional, like it can really, stuff comes up.
Yeah,
And
especially making eye contact with yourself in the mirror. I've noticed when I take women through mirror work, often they divert their eyes when they say whatever they're called to say. They can't say it because they don't believe it.
Yeah.
right? And that was
Yeah.
part of my thing too. I had to like look at them,
Yep.
look at the new scarred self and be able to actually look at it. And that's the part that took me the time, is to look at it, honor it for, okay, I am healthy. I can breathe again. I can walk again, because it took me through a really bad place where my body had started to shut down. And it's silly that, or at least at the time, I felt, oh my God, how silly is this, that this is what's coming up for me when I've been on my journey for 30 plus years. But we're still, as women,
Yeah.
we don't want our wrinkles. We can get comfortable with them. We don't want the gray hairs. We get comfortable with it. And I know you probably see that in all areas of your work, because you do so many things. And I want to delve into more of that. I know you're a body worker, you're a shamanic badass. I know you do things with helping women feel more beautiful through their hair and appearance. And all of those things do integrate into this mirror work you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was one piece that felt important too, because I feel like, especially at this point in my business, I do so much with the body work, but that hair piece is, it's actually really therapeutic as well. Not just like the, talk therapy, which is part of it, that, people, when they come and they talk to their stylist, they're
Best
unloading
counselors
everything.
ever.
And exactly, they tell you everything, which is such a gift and an honor to be able to hold space for. But I feel like there's also this, like, that's therapeutic because you're seeing them. Like,
Yes.
people get out of the chair going, oh my gosh, I feel like me again. Thank you so much. And it's not just because I gave them freaking highlights or whatever. It's because they expressed their truth to me. And I held space for that with compassion and just listening. And like, it's not just seeing their face and face shape and all of
Right.
this. It's all of this. It's
Right.
everything, every part. And so, I mean, I'm so lucky that I get to have these deep discussions with people, whether it's in the massage room, doing energy work, doing tarot, doing hair, because people are exposed, and that's such a gift. And they are able to transform themselves, because we're all our own most sacred medicine.
Yes.
They're able to do it by allowing themselves to be vulnerable. And so that is a good constant reminder for me too, that, like, I think especially as practitioners, we're also kind of held on that pedestal of like, oh my gosh, we look so like we have our shit together and things are beautiful and we do all these practices. Like, no, we're human beings, and
we're still going through our shitty shit. We're human.
shitty shit. And the thing that, like, some of my godparents, my mentors, they always remind me of is like, it's not like the roller coaster or spiral of life stops because you get some enlightenment or you get there. It's you start to become, like you said, more able to move through a deeper level, and you get to stay a little more level as the ups and downs come. Or also, I feel like we get to move through it faster. Like, it becomes quicker. When you're off balance, you recognize it pretty damn fast. And like, because we're open to the universe telling us when shit's wrong or amiss, we are more ready to like do the work or listen to those messages, instead of being like, oh, why is this happening to me? We're like, why is this happening to me? Okay, where can I shift me so that I can come at this differently?
Absolutely.
And I think that's a beautiful gift of all this work.
Oh, it is. And that, like I said, being human, it's going to keep happening. Life is going to keep throwing curveballs at you. And what I explain to my clients is exactly what you said in a different way. I say, what happens is now I can wink and smile at it and go, damn it, I'm doing that again. And then it's a quicker recoil. It's not that you get drugged down into the emotional trenches. You recognize it, you're aware of it. You start listening and trusting your intuition, which is huge for women, that they have these natural, beautiful spiritual gifts, but they don't trust them.
Yes.
And it takes time to integrate it so that you can trust it and to translate it effectively. But I think if we could give that gift of trust to people, if I had a magic wand, that is the one thing I think I'd want to do for people, is to get them to that piece a little faster, to let them trust the power they have within.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because yeah, again, we're our own greatest healers, and our body and ourself, we know what we need. And even if we're in the trenches, that's a message too, right? That's a knowing as well. Sometimes it's okay, maybe you're down because you need to be down. Like, it's whatever is coming up is always there for you, but we have to trust
And you
that.
always ascend higher after you've been in those trenches. It's like the archetype with Persephone, right? You have to go to the underworld to come back up and spring into this new growth. And I like playing in the emotional trenches, actually, because I know what comes after it. You know, I know where I'm going. I know I'm not going to stay there. I'm just collecting more medicine.
Yes. Yes, that's such a good message that I wish like everyone struggling, everyone in the trenches could just like hear that reminder constantly of like, this isn't your end. This is not your forever. This is the dark before the dawn. This is the eye of the storm. Like, you are just gaining power, insight, compassion here. And that is what is going to elevate you to help others, whether, even if you're not someone called to like help others, it's part of being human, even if
It
you're
is.
helping existence. Part of that is developing that compassion that comes from being broken.
Of being
So
broken. And it does help others no matter what form it's in. You're either helping somebody that you work with, helping somebody in your family, raising your children differently, working through your marriage in a different way. Like all these struggles with marriages and so forth, you can't fix it without fixing you. And when you fix you, everything shifts. They level up or they level out, just like friendships and work scenarios and everything else. But it all comes from doing the work and not pushing it away.
yeah,
Right.
yeah, absolutely.
So
100%.
how do you like to coach people through leaning in?
Yeah. So I think a big part of it comes so naturally because people's intuition is leading them, whether they recognize it or not. And
Yes.
so I think as it verbally comes out, like when people are expressing a teeth complaint or they're, doing their hair therapy, I think people naturally lean in by expressing the fact that they don't want to.
Yeah.
Like, I think that it's they reveal it themselves, and I kind of just go, that, oh, did you hear yourself? Did you hear what you're saying? And so I kind of remind them and reflect back to them what they're already knowing and saying. And
Mm-hmm.
so, there's not that much that I have to do to go, no, no, don't run away. Like, sometimes, but mostly it's that reflective because it's already there. It's already within them. They already know what they know and what they need.
Mm-hmm.
And so just having that mirror to go, remember, you said this is what you wanted. It's coming about in a way that you didn't foresee. And so that might be painful, but it's
Yeah.
still there. It's just what you've manifested.
The soul
Just what you
knows what the soul knows, and it will show up however it needs to get our attention. I always tell people, be careful what you wish for.
Yes, it's so
Right.
true.
Now, I know you have a Facebook group. What is the name of that so people can reach out and
Yes.
become a part of your community?
Yeah, I have a free Facebook group called Align Divine. And so that's just like a place to express what's going on for you. And often on Fridays, I'll give like a brief video with a free tip, whether that's like an inner alignment or a physical alignment. Sometimes it's just a goofy like reminder to love yourself and be in your body. So yeah, that's Align Divine is the group. And it's really fun. It's really just a great space for people to express what's coming up for them. And that's sort of an area that, I see my people pretty regularly, like my in-person clients, but this is a beautiful way to connect for people who can't be in
Uh-huh.
person or to have those interim areas for like people who I am working with, be like, okay, thank you for expressing that, and then see how I can support that.
And I love that. I'm building the same thing with Sacred Sisterhood in my group Mystic Circle. And so please reach out to her, join her group, stalk her page, get to know her medicine. And if you're in my group, feel free to chat with people too, and they'll ask questions once we post this video. For everybody watching, we're going to post all of her information in the video notes. It'll go out in the groups and on YouTube. She's at Abundance Salon and Spa. Tell me the city and state that's in.
It's in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Grand Rapids, but you do work with people virtually as well, correct?
I do. Yep. I do virtual appointments as well. A lot of like tarot and energetic stuff, meditation, mindfulness things virtually.
Okay, perfect. Well, just trust me that she is amazing. Reach out, get to know her at a deeper level. And I will bring her back, pull her in so you guys can see her again in this virtual online space as well, because I love her. So would you like to send anybody off with any last words before we say our goodbyes?
I think it's always just love yourself. Like honestly, know that those moments of difficulty are bringing you to a greater space and a greater expansion of yourself. And you are loved and supported by Jen, by me, by so many people, even in moments that don't feel like it. So keep loving yourself, keep growing, and I'm just grateful to be on this planet at the same time with all your gorgeous souls.
Excellent. From her lips to your heart, please receive that, and drop some comments and questions in the video chat so that she can get back in touch with you, and we'll make sure that we answer everybody as fast as we can. Big love to you, Chelsea. I adore you, and I can't wait to read your story. Mwah, mwah, mwah.
Back at you, girl.
Bye, everyone.